Anyone from LLM batch, please write something in chat box so that I know that you are here. We are about to start our LLM program. LLM video series. प्यारे बच्चों, if anyone is here, kindly mark your presence. Hello Garima, it's good that you are here. Anyone else? Anyone else? Do we have someone other than Garima? Hello Gopesh. Hello Gopesh. Hello. Do we have others? Hello Garima. Hello Gopesh. Please call everyone else so we can begin with. Am I audible? मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं बच्चों आप लोग? बच्चों आप लोग मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं? Can you hear me? Good. Please call everyone else. And once you come, please write something on the live chat box that I know that everyone is here. Garima will start with some simple topic that is there in both the papers. Hello Harshit. Hello Harshit. It's good to have you again. Good to have you here in the live stream. देखिए बच्चों, there are few topics. हाँ, that I know, Harshit. Thank you. You are present. That's why you are commenting. Good evening. बच्चों, we are today discussing a topic that is there in both the papers. Like if you will see the syllabus of comparative criminal law, if you will see the first module I am taking in comparative criminal law, that also states general principles of criminal liability and exceptions. And the first topic is nature and definition of crime and elements of crime. While in critical criminal law, the first topic in the first module, that is normative criminal law and critical criminal law, that will be taken by Ashutosh sir. Second topic I am taking, that is defining criminology, definition of crime and criminal law. Today we are going to stick to that, defining criminology, definition of crime and criminal law. We will understand little bit about criminology. Criminology, although it will be a separate paper altogether in your third semester, the next semester you will have a separate paper of criminology. But as far as in critical criminal law is concerned, the criminology, some very basic elements about that we'll study today only. So we have three people online. Anyone else? Three people, Gupesh ji, Garima and Harshit. Three people are here. If anyone else is here, kindly mark your presence. I think we have six people in our batch. Three is sufficient. We can conduct this lecture. Who else is missing? Kindly type whatever you have to say in the comment box. I am reading that live chat. I'll respond to that. Also, kindly make a WhatsApp or Telegram group for criminal law, and please add me in that also, so that I can directly communicate with all of you instead of communicating with one or two of you. I'll communicate with everyone. Please do make a group and add me in it, WhatsApp group, so that I can schedule the classes. We'll have two or three classes every day, every week, and on Sunday we'll try to have more classes, because generally a person is free. Harsha, Devesh, and Ishan, I am also waiting, but looks like, or is it a bad time? We should start earlier, or in the morning we can have classes. Whatever suits you, kindly tell me. Today, this is a very demo YouTube live that I'm doing. We have to form a strategy of how we are supposed to proceed. But don't worry, your syllabus will be finished before time, and there will be no need of extending the semester as such. Either I can make PPT and upload for it for you, or we can have live classes in the evening or in the class hours if that suits you. That will also do. Kindly respond. Now you see, LLM lectures cannot be one-way dialogue. That's why I was very much against the idea of PPT, because it's not supposed to be a one-way dialogue. But nonetheless, somehow we have to do whatever we have. Interaction is must. I hope everyone hasn't noticed. Instead of waiting, let's start. That is a fine idea, but if we'll start and that will be a problem. Ishan is no more. Acha, he is no more in his home. Acha, correct. Okay. Someone is no more in his home today. Okay, somebody passed away. I hope they were old and there's no such problem as such. So if mark your presence once again, I will start. I think we have Garima, Gopesh, and Yash. Kindly write start, sir. Though we will begin. So Harshit is okay. Harshit is up. Gopesh, can you hear me? Let's start. Garima is also ready. Gopesh ji. Gopesh is also saying yes, so we'll begin. So the first thing that we in the thank you. Critical criminal law. The second topic of first module is regarding uh, criminology definition of crime. Criminology definition of criminology. Now criminology will be a separate paper in next semester, but criminology for the time being we have to understand. Criminology is a separate study. It is not essentially a part of law. It has been a part of social science. From 1960s, it has been designated as a separate paper. Sagar University in Madhya Pradesh was first to start this subject as a different subject, separate subject. Earlier, this was a branch of psychology only, but criminology has a wider area, a wider aspect in comparison to all other sciences, social sciences which are related to crime and its position. Now, the criminology essentially studies about four things. Number one, factors of crime. Factors are there in crime. Crimes causes of crime. Factor behind crime, the causes. It may sound similar, but criminology is a study of cause and effect. हर चीज के पीछे कॉज एंड इफेक्ट होता है ना, ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा हुआ. तो क्रिमिनोलॉजी एसेंशियली स्टडीज अबाउट कॉज एंड इफेक्ट्स ऑफ क्राइम. क्या कॉज हुआ, क्या क्राइम हुआ, क्यों हुआ. When a crime happens, the punishment happens. That is very simple. But why crime happens, the question, ये जो क्वेश्चन है ना कि क्राइम क्यों होता है, ये स्टडी करने के लिए this criminology. Criminology studies the causes behind the crime, the multiple factors behind the crime, the psychology of the criminal, what criminal thinks, what are the factors which motivates everyone to either be a criminal, a person in conflict with law, or a person in coherence with law, a law abiding citizen. जैसे हम लोग law abiding citizen अपने आप को कहते हैं. और टू एन एक्सटेंट वी आर लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन, टू सम एक्सटेंट वी मे बी इन कंफ्लिक्ट ऑफ लॉ एज. जैसे हम किसी को रिश्वत देते हैं तो वी आर इन कंफ्लिक्ट ऑफ लॉ, बट हम लोग उसको क्राइम नहीं मानते, उस रिस्पेक्ट में उतना बड़ा क्राइम नहीं मानते. इट इज जनरली एक्सेप्टेड नॉर्म कि अ पर्सन विल हैव टू गिव सम ब्राइब फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ getting a particular benefit from a public servant. So criminology studies about the factors responsible, the causes behind the crime. It tells you about the theories yani ki the idea. Various criminologists, after having a very detailed discussion and having a detailed research, have uh, developed certain particular theories जो कि एक्सप्लेन करती हैं कि एक व्यक्ति क्रिमिनल कैसे बनता है. हाउ अ पर्सन बिकम्स अ क्रिमिनल. This is the sole focal point of study in respect of criminology. There are two other branches of criminology that are studied with criminology only. The criminology essentially talks about the criminal. Secondly, another aspect of criminology is considered as victimology, यानी कि study of victim. Victim के साथ क्या होता है, what effects the crime has on victim is also a very important aspect of victimology. Now, crime of victims. Number one victim is the person against whom the crime is committed. Number two victim is society. So victimology studies both, that how crime impacts the person who is the direct victim of the violent action, और सोसाइटी एज अ होल, पूरी सोसाइटी को इफेक्ट पड़ सकता है. देयर मे बी क्राइम्स इन विच देयर इज नो इंडिविजुअल विक्टिम. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि कोई इंडिविजुअल विक्टिम, जैसे करप्शन है, सरकार के तरफ से हजार करोड़ घोटाला हो गया, सो नेसेसरली देयर इज नो इंडिविजुअल विक्टिम. किसको इंडिविजुअल नुकसान तो हुआ नहीं, बट इट हैज बीन अ लार्जर, पूरी सोसाइटी को नुकसान हुआ, कलेक्टिव नुकसान हुआ. तो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू सजेस्ट, कि हम लोग वही करने का प्रयास करते हैं कि किसी भी व्यक्ति को जब क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम में इफ अ पर्सन इज पनिश्ड, द ऑफेंडर इज पनिश्ड, रेयरली द विक्टिम गेट्स एनीथिंग. जब मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में जब हम लोग बात कर रहे थे क्रिमिनल लॉ या क्रिमिनल लॉ के एसेंस के बारे में, तो मैंने आपको बताया था कि द क्रिमिनल लॉ इज essentially a duty based law. Duty based law means the state punishes the offenders जिसने state के regulations तोड़े. If somebody disobeys the rules made by the state punishes them for disobedience. Now why state punishes from the disobedience? Because state is under an obligation to maintain law and order. Law and order maintain करना किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? State की. तो state क्या करता है? Every person whose action is supposed to create fear or insecurity among the society, so the state will prohibit and will punish that person from creating that instability, fear or insecurity in the society. Now state punishes the offender, but what happens to the victim? जो victim है उसके साथ क्या होता है? There is a simple question that victim के साथ criminal law कुछ नहीं करता है. तो victim के साथ there are now criminal law evolve हो रहा है over the period of time. So we have started learning about the aspects of victimology. What happens to the victim after the crime? What are the processes through which he have to suffer? सपोज अ रेप विक्टिम, एक रेप विक्टिम के साथ क्या होता है, एक एसिड अटैक के विक्टिम से क्या होता है. वी स्टडीड दैट, वी वॉच दैट मूवी ऑफ दीपिका पादुकोण छपाक दैट टॉक्स अबाउट एन एसिड अटैक विक्टिम. तो विक्टिम के साथ क्या होता है, दिस इज हैज आल्सो बीन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ आवर क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम. Third aspect of criminology is also called penology. Penology means crimes of punishment. That we will have to study why we punish someone, what effect the punishment has on criminal. जैसे कि क्रिमिनोलॉजी में हमने समझा कि क्राइम करते क्यों है, विक्टिमोलॉजी में समझा हमने कि विक्टिम के साथ क्या होता है, पिनोलॉजी में हम ये समझते हैं कि पनिशमेंट का क्रिमिनल पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ता है. वंस वी पनिश द क्रिमिनल, हाउ इट हेल्प्स अस टू क्रिएट अ बेटर सोसाइटी. जैसे कि वी रिसेंटली हैंग्ड द रेपिस्ट ऑफ निर्भया. निर्भया के रेपिस्ट को हमने हैंग कर दिया, सेइंग कि नहीं हैंग कर दिया हमने, डेथ पेनल्टी जो है अनसिविलाइज्ड बारबेरिक पनिशमेंट है. देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु आर सपोर्टिंग दिस कि नहीं इसके लिए तो डेथ पेनल्टी होनी चाहिए थी. Criminology deals with that. Often in the cases of some crime that are committed by minor. अच्छा एक और इसमें dispute बार बार आया कि और of all the accused of Nirbhaya there was one boy who was 17 years old. So that 17-year boy को हमने छोड़ दिया, then उसको rehabilitate किया. The government is spending money, the government has given him a different identity and he's working somewhere in the south with a changed name. That all we know. But what happens, this is also a point of criminal law, because all the factors that were true for those adult criminals were also true for that juvenile offender. But when it comes to penology, we try to maintain a balance, that sometimes the purpose, the motive behind punishing someone is retribution, sometimes it is preventive theory, or there is a deterrent theory, creating a deterrence, getting a vengeance, or reforming someone. There are various theories of punishment that is also subject matter of penology. There has been more theories of punishment that are evolving every day, that why we tend to punish someone and what effect the punishment has on the people on whom such punishment is inflicted. So criminology, victimology, penology, they both as a whole, ये तीनों मिल करके हम लोगों को समझाने का प्रयास करते हैं कि how criminal justice system works, because the crime, जिसने क्राइम किया, जिसके अगेंस्ट क्राइम किया, ये तो प्राइमरी लोग हैं. There are other people who are involved, like criminal justice system, the persons who are involved in dispensing justice or accessory to the criminal justice system, like lawyers, like police personnel, like judges. These are like media personnel even. Now the media has a very high stake in criminal justice system. आपने सुना होगा मीडिया ट्रायल का हल्ला होता रहता है कि somebody is threatened, somebody is on the verge of being punished just because the media of the report. Regarding the hanging of Afzal Guru, there was a very interesting judgment. There was a very interesting line in the judgment. To satisfy the public conscience, we are hanging this person. The Supreme Court opined that when we are hanging a person, it is to satisfy the public conscience. So whether hanging or punishing someone for public conscience is justified, and who creates this public conscience? Like everybody celebrated. अच्छा, हमारा एक क्वेश्चन भी था इस बार के एग्जाम में, that in Hyderabad shooting, that in Hyderabad 4 of the rape accused of Dr. Priyanka Reddy were killed by the police officer, either in retaliation or some people are alleging that no, it was not in retaliation, that was a planned murder, or they were shot at point blank range, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I expect that the encounter was justified, and I support that even. I acknowledge that the shooting was justified, but still there is a question. The question comes when the role of media becomes very important. Even social media becomes very important. Everybody was cheering for the police, or before they were shot, the police were constantly asked that you do something, you do something. Nirbhaya rapists are not hanged till date. Why will again keep them for 5-6 years and then punish them? You should give immediate justice to them. So all these factors are very important when we're studying criminology. Criminology basically studies the mind or psychological patterns of the accused. Now, regarding criminology, there are various theories of criminology, theories of criminal behavior that we say. I'll share with all of you. Kindly make a WhatsApp group and give me your email IDs in that. I'll send you some study material. In LLM, our learning process will be different. I will give you a study material beforehand, 1 day before the lecture, and on the basis of that study material we are going to study. That will be our modus operandi. That will how will work. If you agree, I think you will all agree that some written material should be given to you beforehand, and then I'll explain, and then I'll try to have a meaningful discussion. You can start with your queries straight away. If you have read that piece of document, I'll send you the written material or a PPT beforehand. PPT not with voice, a simple PPT beforehand, so that you can study and you have an idea of the provisions that are involved. Then we'll critically discuss the nuances of those provisions. Regarding criminology, I have given you a brief idea. Criminology essentially studies about the factors behind the crime. So uh, regarding criminology, I'll be sending you a particular PDF, an article from either Shodh Ganga or the standard study material that I compiled in the last semester. That is the Delhi University material regarding criminology. I'll highlight the page number which you have to study. You kindly study that page numbers, and then we can have a meaningful discussion regarding the essentials of crime. There is a particular book known as Kenny, but I understand that you don't have access to library, and those materials are not available online without much problems. But I'll send you the PDF of the book of PSA Pillai. I have the PDF of that book. I'll send you the PDF of that book, and the concerned chapter you will have to study beforehand, because if you'll not know the Indian law, then only if you know the Indian law, then only we can study about the comparative aspect of the same. I can tell you about the uh, American system of criminal justice, and we'll discuss about the common law civil law system as well, that is continental system. Our Indian system. So kindly give me all of you should give me your email ID so that we can plan our lectures beforehand. Three of you attended today. Three of you only are present today. So I'll not discuss anything very much critical, but kindly make sure that Harsha, Devesh, and Nishan, they are also available for this video lecture, or this live, because that will be more helpful, or I can make PPTs as well if you are comfortable, because I don't find the PPTs very much fruitful. But if you want PPTs, I'll give you PPTs and I'll give you study material, or else 7 o'clock in the evening we'll meet every day or alternate day we'll meet, and we'll discuss our syllabus, whatever we have to study. But beforehand, on the same day, I'll give you the study material for the next day, like day after tomorrow when we'll meet. We'll have a live session. I expect you to read whatever I have sent you, and then we'll straight away start with our syllabus that we are going to study. Before this lecture, I had no time because I also don't have any access to the resources like library or online resources. No LexisNexis is there. We are all quarantined in our homes. I can't go to the university because apparently the army personnel are not allowing anyone to enter. So I don't have the library or online sources. So whatever I can find the internet, I will send you. So let's see, we can make something meaningful. Although the e-Pathshala has a proper course on criminal law. So I'll send you the links of e-Pathshala and Swayam. So kindly go through those videos as well. And e-Pathshala will help you a lot. That MHRD have mandated that every student should go through e-Pathshala and online curriculums. Difference between crime and criminal law. Bachcho, criminal law is something, the laws that are dealing with crime and its punishments. It defines what is crime and what is punishment. Generally, when we talk about offenses, section 40, the definition of section 40 of IPC, we talk about offenses, that whatever is done in contravention with the rules made by IPC or any other criminal law shall be called offense, and for that offense a particular punishment is prescribed. When we talk about crime, crime is a more of a sociological terms, which tells us about simply those practices, those behavior, those that kind of behavior which conflicts with the accepted norm of the society. सोसाइटी के एक्सेप्टेड नॉर्म्स के साथ कंफ्लिक्ट करते हैं तो हम लोग उनको क्राइम कहना शुरू करते हैं. But when we move from sociological to the legal aspect of crime, crime simply means when violation of the duties assigned by the state. सरकार ने जो आपको ड्यूटीज क्रिएट की हैं तो उनको वायलेशन जो है वो क्राइम होता है. देयर आर डिफरेंट स्कूल्स ऑफ ज्यूरिस्प्रूडेंस, यू मस्ट बी नोइंग. सोशियोलॉजिकल ज्यूरिस्प्रूडेंस जो है वो क्राइम को डिफरेंटली डिफाइन करते हैं. वो कहते हैं कि क्राइम वही है सोसाइटी जो है जिसको डिस्पाइज करती है. बट इफ यू थिंक अबाउट द पॉजिटिव लॉ सब कहते हैं कि नहीं, क्राइम वो नहीं तो सोसाइटी जिसको डिस्पाइज करती हो. क्राइम वही है जिसको लॉ ने प्रोहिबिट कर रखा है. And we generally, when we follow our criminal law, we stick to the positive criminal law. It means for us the crime is only that which is prohibited by law and punished by law. So criminal law is a system, is a school, or is a type of law which generally punishes, which generally defines and prohibits and punishes. तीन चीजें हम करते हैं. तो पहला डिफाइन करते हैं क्या क्राइम है, दूसरा उसको प्रोहिबिट करते हैं ऐसा कोई ना करेगा, और तीसरा anybody if they act in defiance of that prohibitions then punishment. तो तीन चीजें होती हैं क्रिमिनल लॉ में एसेंशियली. इन तीनों चीजों का क्रिमिनल लॉ में हम लोग ध्यान रखते हैं. On the other hand, crime is a term which simply defines everything that is done against the social norms, in conflict with social norms, sociologically, legally, against the defiance of the commands of the state authorities. तो ये हम लोगों का अभी तक डेफिनेशन है. Regarding criminology and essence of the crime, we'll have a discussion once I share the material. Can we say that the criminology also covers hidden criminality? No बच्चों, criminality even if hidden, sociology, देखिए criminology, I told you criminology is a study of psychology as well. हमारे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है इसकी साइकोलॉजी भी क्रिमिनल लॉ में बात करते हैं हम लोग. इसकी भी हर व्यक्ति के अंदर क्रिमिनल टेंडेंसी होती है, ऐसा agreed है by different criminologists. Every criminologist agree that every person has some amount of deviant behavior. एनिमलिस्टिक इंस्टिंक्ट जो है हमारी वो सबके पास है. हम सब थोड़े थोड़े एनिमल्स हैं, तो हमारी एनिमलिस्टिक इंस्टिंक्ट को ही हम लोग क्रिमिनल इंस्टिंक्ट कहते हैं. लाइक ग्रीड है हमारे अंदर लस्ट है, हमारे अंदर वॉयलेंस है, एंगर है. तो ये सब जो इंस्टिंक्ट हैं, they actually are hidden criminality. और क्रिमिनोलॉजिस्ट्स का मानना है that there are various social psychological factors which or sometimes genetic also. इनका मानना है जेनेटिक फैक्टर्स भी होते हैं, सोशियोलॉजिकल फैक्टर हैं, इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर हैं, पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर हैं, सोशल फैक्टर हैं, जो कि हमारी उस हिडन क्रिमिनलिटी को कंट्रोल करते हैं. समटाइम दीज फैक्टर्स कैन मोल्ड आवर बिहेवियर एंड वी कैन बी, तो हम लोगों को ऐसा करते हैं मोल्ड कि हम लोग जो है वो क्रिमिनल्स होते होते नहीं होते हम लोग लॉ अबाइडिंग हो जाते हैं, और सम टाइम वो हमें ऐसे मोल्ड करते हैं कि हम लोग क्रिमिनल बन जाते हैं. सो क्रिमिनोलॉजी जो है वो डील करता है हिडन क्रिमिनलिटी से. इट टेल्स अबाउट दैट एवरीवन हैज सम कमांड अमाउंट ऑफ क्रिमिनल बिहेवियर हमारा रहता है. बट देयर आर वेरियस फैक्टर्स, सोशल है, इकोनॉमिक है, पॉलिटिकल है, साइकोलॉजिकल है, जेनेटिक है, जो कि हमारे अंदर के क्रिमिनल को आइदर रेस्ट्रिक्ट करते हैं या उसको एक्शंस में ट्रांसफॉर्म कर देते हैं. So this is the factor behind the criminology. I'll discuss only after discussing I'll send you the material. Only after that material is being supplied to you, we'll have a further more fruitful discussion about criminology and aspects of criminal law. Although regarding comparative criminal law, in the next class, we'll study actus reus. We have studied already. We'll study mens rea. हमने actus reus पढ़ लिया था ना? आई थिंक हमने पढ़ लिया था. देयर आर फोर फैक्टर्स ऑफ एक्टस रियस, पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ क्राइम के बारे में हमने पढ़ा था. एक्टस रियस हमने पढ़ लिया था, एलिमेंट्स ऑफ क्राइम में. द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट वी हैव टू स्टडी इज मेंस रिया. सो ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट अबाउट मेंस रिया, रीड एज मच एज अबाउट मेंस रिया एज यू कैन. इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास बच्चों विल स्टडी अबाउट मेंस रिया. What are the and also we'll study about strict liability offenses, कि कहाँ पे मेंस रिया की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. What is reverse burden of proof, we will also study that in what cases a strict liability is there and in what cases mens rea is not there at all, and in what cases mens rea is presumed. We'll study all about that in our next class. I'll try to supply with some material, and I'll send you the PSA Pillai book. Kindly go through that, and I'll whatever the online resources I can find, I'll send you. If you have any questions, now is the time, or we'll kindly make that WhatsApp group and give me your email ID. I'll wait for one more minute, and then we'll stop, and then we'll begin day after tomorrow with our formal discussions. Till then, kindly communicate it to Isha, Devesh, and Harsha that we all should be here for our lectures, else it will not be fruitful. 6 के 6 नहीं रहेंगे तो फिर दिक्कत होगी. So that I can mark your attendance as well. Na? If you'll all be here, I'll mark your attendance and submit your attendance as well. You'll get marks for attendance as well. Correct. Gopesh, we watched a film. Correct. Thank you for reminding me. We watched that film, Ek Ruka Hua Faisla, and we'll discuss all that is a pure classic when it comes to critical criminal law. So in the beginning of the next class, we'll first discuss that film. Please remind in your mind, and revise in your mind what was that film all about, and we'll discuss all the aspects of law that were involved, all the aspects that are related to criminal law and critical criminal law, how we can understand the nuances of criminal law as such. We'll discuss about the prejudice, we'll discuss about the burden of proof, and we'll discuss about everything, about the witnesses we'll discuss. So thank you so much. I'll discuss in the next class. Kindly make sure that every one of you is there, unless it will not be much fruitful. And start your typing speed, improve your typing speed so that we can have a discussion in live chat only. I think you have access to Netflix and all, so I can recommend you more films to watch when it comes to criminal law, critical criminal law. You all type Corona, go Corona. Stay safe in your homes. We'll resume our class day after tomorrow. Make that WhatsApp group and ping me. Thank you so much, bachcho. This is me signing off. Bye bye.